All right, so I am going to tackle Nancy's question. Great question. She asked about how can we control our situations when we go in a social event with our eating. And I'm going to give you some of my best tips, tricks, thought processes on this issue. So number one, it always starts with your intention. So before you go, what is your intention? Is this a social situation that you want to indulge and celebrate, or is this like a meal away from home? So by knowing that for yourself, it helps to ground your thoughts in what it is you want to do. If it's an indulgent event, your anniversary, your birthday, maybe it's Christmas party that you really look forward to every year, then my first instinct for you would be to plan good for it. Make sure that you average out your calories for the week. You put a high amount of calories on the day that you're going to go so you can fully enjoy the day. Now, set boundaries. Number two, once you know what you want to achieve in this event, then we want to have good boundaries with ourselves. So one of my simple boundaries for social events is when I am going to eat food on plate but in chair. If I do that, what it does is it grounds me to where I don't just grab food and shove it in my mouth. So there's a peanut bowl, there's a cheese platter, there's chips and dip. Okay, great. I would have made the decision I was going to indulge. I would have allotted more calories for the day. I would now put chips and dip and cheese and nuts on a plate, and I would sit down and eat it. So that I am mindful of what I'm doing. If I stand and graze, I will always eat more calories than I intend. So those are two primary things that need to be done. Now, her question kind of branched off into what do we do about pushy people and people wanting us to eat more food. So there is a very simple social cue that you can do, and this works really well for alcohol as well. Actually, I learned this from a podcast, I believe, on alcohol. It was to carry around a drink that mimics what everybody else is drinking. So for example, if everybody else is carrying around a glass with champagne, you get a glass, even if you put in, diet soda or water, and you walk around with the same glass, because what will happen is people want to feel like you're part of the social group. It's just the way we're wired, okay? So a real simple thing you could do is carry around a decoy plate. So you sat down, you enjoyed the food, you tracked. Now you kind of have what would be the equivalent of a wine glass. Maybe it's a small little snack plate. You put some of the food on, you carry it with you as a part of your costume, okay? And then when people come in, oh yeah, have you had this? Have you had that? Oh, I'm working on this right now, but thank you so much for offering. So what it is you're constantly referring to the plate, the camouflage plate, that you already have food, you don't need any more right now, but you appreciate the offer. That plate can go with you all night long. Don't eat it, carry it around as part of your costume, okay? Now, the next thing that I want to encourage you, and I'm going to turn around and go back because there's a lot of construction here. The next thing I want to encourage you to do is, and this is a totally different approach, if it's not like a Christmas party or something like that, say that your great aunt has invited you over for dinner and you love your great aunt, but she's very, very pushy with the food. So here's how you cut that one off at the beginning. You go up to your great aunt and you say, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Whatever it is, lasagna, casserole, doesn't really matter. Could I get some to take home? And could I get the recipe? You make the most amazing I would love to have more later because I am so utterly full right now. So when people push their food, it's for kind of one of two reasons. One, they feel uncomfortable because they don't want to be the only ones eating and drinking. That's where our camouflage plate or wine glass comes in. Second, they really love you, and their food is how they express love to you. So by you telling them how much you utterly love it, you can't get enough of it, you even brought your own Tupperware container to take home the seconds because you can't eat another bite. that warms the cockles of their heart. That makes them happy to hear. And that's really all they're doing when they're trying to push the food on you. They just want to know that you love it, you appreciate it, that makes them feel good. Of course, you and I understand because you've watched all my videos, it's just a boundaries thing, right? So you cutting it off at the pass, oh my gosh, your meal is amazing, so want to have more to have later. You give them exactly what they want. Most people will back off in that context. They'll be like, okay, she's got her seconds and thirds. She's got my recipe. She loved my food. She took initiative to ask me for more, which I didn't have to push on her because you do this proactively. You don't do it as like, okay, she's pushing seconds on, or you could say, oh my gosh, yes, I would totally love seconds. I can't fit it in right now, but I got this Tupperware container I brought with me. Do you mind if I put it in there and I take it home for later? When, right? So, and then you just tell her how amazing she is, how great of a cook she is. And that's what she wanted to hear the whole time. So it's a win-win situation, right? So it starts with, what's my intention? Setting personal boundaries. And then 3, figuring out which way it would be easiest for you to move through the event, whether it's that camouflage plate and or drink, or whether it's you intentionally asking for seconds and leftovers to take home, asking for the recipe card, really kind of gauging it based on who is hosting and what the event is. That is, in my opinion, the easiest way to do it. I hope this helps. Please like and subscribe, share my videos, and let me know how I can help you. And I love questions like Nancy's because if that's a struggle point, I definitely want to cover it. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.